Hello everyone, this is Honda CB500X model 2017. It's a nice 500cc motorcycle for A2 driving license, and I would like to find out how it is. So let's go. So Honda says that this is an adventure bike, at least it's in the category of adventure bikes on the Honda website. And I have to say, like the first thing I have to say, this is not like any off-road. And like a lot of people really are kind of following the marketing of the Honda and saying like, yeah, this is like pure adventure bike, and they're trying to go off-road, and you can do it. You can go around the globe, of course. You can go off-road if you want. But it's very important to say that there are better bikes in many categories, more capable bikes to the going off-road. Let me explain. So first of all, the wheels and tires. So of course, road tires, you can be changed, but the 17-inch front and 17-inch the rear, it's probably the worst combination you can take in off-road. So as you probably know, that the bigger the front wheel is, the better it is in the off-road. And like 17 is like typical road kind of dimension. So you can find it on any street bikes or super sport. And once you want to go off-road, 19 is way better, and even like 12, 21, it's even like way better going the hard off-road. And the other thing is that we have alloy rims. They are quite nice, I have to say. Like I like the design. But the spoke wheels are always better, more durable. They can be repaired if something happened in the off-road, and there are more reasons to choose the spoked wheels. So, this is another like kind of disadvantage. But the main thing is the suspension, right? And this is really important point, because I read a lot of reviews and here on YouTube, and people usually tend to say, yeah, I mean, it's it's higher, more capable off-road than the traditional CB500F. And it's true, but just a half true, The thing is that, okay, the front fork, it's a little bit higher. It has like plus 2 centimeters more travel. So the total is 140 millimeters, which is still not anything super extraordinary. Like if you take V-Strom or Versys or even the Benelli TRK 502 or Ducati Multistrada or anything, like almost anything, it has it higher. So it's still not an off-road or anything you should go in the forest like we are right now, or anything like that. You can do it, but if you choose any other bike, it'll be probably better. The most complicated thing is the rear shock, which actually not many people knows, but it's completely the same unit as you can find on any other CB500 range motorcycle, which means even the CBR 500R. It's still like adjustable, like pretty loud adjustable, like in 8 steps or 8 levels, but it's just 120 millimeters travel Pro-Link unit in the rear, and almost no one would probably take a CBR to the off-road, right? So it doesn't have more travel, like in comparison to traditional CB500F or CBR, and you will feel it, like I have to say they both, like the front and rear, does a great job, but once you go off-road, you have to go very slow, and you feel that this is not the kind of cup of tea of this motorcycle. So this is the suspension and wheels. Also the brakes, they are quite okay. I think they're almost the same or absolutely the same as we have on NC750X, which is actually one of the common alternative when buying this motorcycle. And on this NC, I didn't like them that much. You can see my review on the YouTube already, because it just has 25 kilos more, and the motorcycle is a little bit higher, and kind of it has it doesn't work like that good as here. And if I have NC, I would probably upgrade it, but whereas here it kind of does a great job. So that's a brake. Of course, we have ABS, 2-channel ABS, which does a great job. You can't turn it off unless you put the fuse out of the motorcycle. What we see here, this is a very modern unit, 471cc parallel twin. It's a typical parallel twin, like in a correct meaning, because the pistons are going when one is on the top, the other one is in the bottom, so they are going reversely, and you know, this means that this has a characteristic of a typical parallel twin, and even the sound tells you that this is it. And why I'm telling this, you know, it's very important, and many people ignores it, that this engine is a very different characteristic than we have on Benelli TRK 502 or, for example, BMW F800 GS. And that's why these two engines have very similar kind of, you know, sound and feeling from the riding it, but here you feel more like a parallel twin. The good thing is that this engine does not vibrate at all. There are some sections, but basically if you compare it with Benelli or most of the bikes on the market, this is really nice kind of engine. So this is a model of 2017, and for 2016 Honda made a big upgrade of this motorcycle. So it seems like they took a list of all the disadvantages which people hated on this motorcycle, or they, you know, they needed to fix, and they just fixed it. So that's very good. We have here a upgraded windshield, 10 centimeters plus. It does a good job. The same LED lights front and rear, and especially the front one is great. It's the standard for Honda nowadays, and it's just beautiful. I have Yamaha XSR 900, and just anytime I sit on any Honda, I just you know, I don't want to get back in terms of lighting. Now we have here adjustable front brake lever, which is standard on some other bikes usually, but no, it wasn't here. Good to be there, but we don't still have here adjustable clutch lever, and it can be upgraded very cheaply, but still it's missing. You know, the overall styling and design was upgraded, so the motorcycle looks more mature and more modern and more high, like more big, which is nice. And last but not least, the exhaust, together with some changes on the engine in terms of like Euro 4 commission if you are in the European Union, but the exhaust is new. It's the same, I think, on the CB500F, and it does a great, like, you know, it looks better and the sound is a little bit better, but still very silent. So let me show you. Okay, so this is Honda CB500X. The first thing I would like to tell you about riding it, the throttle is a little nervous when going like, you know, less than 20, and it's probably difficult to share through video, but I think, you know, I wouldn't expect it from this bike, which is really user-friendly, supposed to be. It is, you know, like a lot of people label it as a bike for beginners, and, you know, this parallel twin, I wouldn't expect it. And even the Ducati Scrambler 2017 I tested last week didn't have this issue, or CB650F Honda didn't have this issue. So that's the thing number one. I have to say that the, you know, low range RPM, it's not strong at all. As you can see, the full throttle, I think second gear, you will wait forever. Okay, and I mean, you know, this is A2 riding motorcycle for young riders, 35 kilowatts, I know. But still, there are bikes who can deliver more from this, you know, displacement or in this category. So all these, you know, 35 kilowatts are covered in the, you know, high ref, you know, range. Same as the theory says, you know, the maximum power it's at 8.5 thousand RPM, and that's just a fact. And if you want to have some fun, you need to rev the engine like crazy. But like, you know, like this is something, it's really, you know, still is in my head during the testing this motorcycle, that I am quite sad that, you know, we are losing the charisma and the power of engines within the years, because, you know, like I remember when we had CB500 in the year of, I think, 98, and when you start the engine with 60 horsepower, it was, you know, you had some respect from it, and it has some peak, it has a beautiful sound, and none of it is here. I mean, this has everything else. It is super reliable. The fuel consumption is like funny, it's so small, you know. I do like 3.7 liters per 100 kilometers. and if I do very crazy, it's like 4.2. And also you can take you and the passenger like in huge comfort to, I don't know, wherever you want, to the holidays, you know, to the seaside or any other nice place. So it's comfortable, it's nicely looking for those who are not like, you know, the classic fans of, you know, classic steel motorcycles. This is, you know, a lot of plastics, but you know, this is like a modern motorcycle. The price is nice, so it's really versatile. It's really like the bike for everyday riding. Now, yeah, I mean, in terms of comfort, I did something like 250 kilometers today, and I feel nice. Like, you know, nothing hurts me. The seating position is good, even despite the fact I have, you know, mine 193 centimeters and 113 kilos. I don't look cool on this motorcycle. I would need something bigger, but for anybody smaller, like 180 or less, even people like small, like 165 or less, this is a really good choice. On the broken asphalt, on the broken tarmac, it works pretty well, I have to say. Like, you know, like a nice Honda. So it's like, it does the great job. You can actually go quite fast on the broken tarmac with no problem. Now, the question about the off-road, this is the adventure motorcycle, and so Honda, like, you know, push the people sometimes, you know, to think that this is the adventure bike or something they should take to the back road or fire road or anything like that, and you certainly can do it, but let us try. But I told you the problems of, you know, of the suspension, tires, wheels. You can't stay in the foot packs because of the position, and the handlebar is quite low, and of course there is a rubber on the foot packs, so I don't feel very stable. Yeah, now I felt the maximum of the front fork, and the engine doesn't have the torque in the end, but surprisingly on the second gear it went quite nice. So a little bit more if you want. Yeah, as soon as you go uphill, you'll feel quite okay, but when you go down, let's try. There should be something a little bit more difficult. Yeah, you know, now I would also need to turn off the ABS, which you only can do by putting out the fuse under the seat. And yeah, I mean, it can do some off-road, but the truth is that probably the same you would do on the Hornet, you know, or basically any bike except maybe a Chopper or Harley Davidson or anything like this. But almost any naked bike would do the same. And so it brings us to the end of this review, and I would like to do some conclusion. And I will repeat myself in saying that this motorcycle, it's very versatile. And it's kind of a compromise, which means that it's comfortable for you and the passenger, and you know, you can very easily commute on this motorcycle and go for work or holiday around the country, or even to travel. Maybe some people would take it even around the world, whatever. But it will cost almost nothing, because you know, the fuel consumption is superb. I've never seen such a thing. Like, I'm riding for 3.7 liters per 100 kilometers, and 4 was the maximum on the highway. I was like, this is great. It's even less for me than on NC750, which is cool. Probably the cost of maintenance will be very, very small, like the same with chain. You know, you'll probably, and the brake pads and everything, it will probably last long, right? And what it doesn't have is emotions, and like, you know, it will not bring you much adrenaline unless this is your first motorcycle and first 3 months of riding. And also, it is not an off-road machine, and you know, like, it is in the off-road category. But as I told you, there are, like, if you take a V-Strom or Versys or Ducati Multistrada or Aprilia Pegaso or anything from the older motorcycles, or BMGS, like BMW GS Dakar or anything, all of these bikes will be more capable in terrain. So also, if you expect from this motorcycle to go and spend half of your journey all the time in terrain, I would probably go for something else. Now, speaking of something else, let's look at the alternatives. So the closest motorcycle to this one and is the Benelli TRK 502. I did a review on the YouTube, so if you want to watch the differences, just you can watch it right now. And the first thing is that the Benelli is way more heavier, like it's way heavier, something like 40 kilos, because it has 235 kilos and this is 196, and you will feel it from the first meter, and it has just some implications. It also has a the Benelli is also more comfortable for you and the passenger, at least from some point of view it is. But we don't know much about the Benelli kind of engine in terms of reliability. I follow myself like a lot of Facebook groups of the owners and having a lot of conversation with the owners from Asia and all around the globe, and they feel they sound like they sound happy and no any major problems. But still, this engine and Honda engines, like in general, this is it's like a quality you can rely on. So this is another thing. And also Benelli is slower because of the weight, and yeah, I mean, it can do something like 1 or 2 second difference on a 100 kilometers acceleration. So yeah, so that's something you should know. Now, NC750X, it's another big alternative, like the Honda NC750X, and I have to say that NC is more agile, even though it's heavier. NC has 25 kilos more, but because of the position of the engine, it's still more agile in the corners, and it's better. It's better almost everywhere. It even has a more off-road capabilities because of the more travel in the front and rear, and it's faster everywhere. It's just 5 kilowatts, but in combination with the more torque, it's just where there are places on the on a highway where to the hill, when I was going on this like 155 kilometers per hour, and that's it. And with the NC it was 175. So yes, NC is faster, I think, everywhere. So, but it's also it's the matter of money. So like the NC is more expensive, and if you have only money for this bike, then you should. It's there is no need to think about to compare it with V-Strom or Versys or any other motorcycle, which are probably better and stronger but more expensive. But overall, I liked it, and it's just no surprise that it's very popular and it's a very good selling motorcycle. So yeah, let me know in comments if you have this motorcycle or what is your opinion on it. It will really help me to understand it better. Thank you very much, and bye.